Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad, the SuperCoach Pro. Today's video we are doing the round 4 AFL SuperCoach team review. Scored 2,163, lost a little bit of ranking spots here, out to 7,000 ranking and 15 if you want to be exact. Season rank isn't too bad. It was top 4, 5,000k, which is really nice. Overall though, still top 4% of competition, so you'll take that at round 4 anyway. Team value is looking good on a positive note too, and I didn't burn any trades because Tom Stewart was laid out with gastro, which was not great for him, but saved the trade on Cripps, so not too bad. Get stuck into the side where we went right, where we went wrong. It was looking good before Sunday's games, to be honest, but starting in the back line there, Jaden Short with 111, had a lot of possessions, kicked a goal from outside 50, but did give away a free kick or two that led to a goal. So I think he was scouted from about 120 down to 111 after that last minute brain fade in the last minute of the play. It would have been annoying, but if you don't got him in, I'd get him in for Paddy Cripps this week, who will actually explain why you have to trade him out. But and you do that via DBP if you can, obviously. 111's fine though. He's going to be D1 and obviously season keeper, and he's just going to go up in price. Crisp finally got a good look at him. Now this score you take with a grain of salt. I think a lot of people traded him out. I was going to, but then I thought I'll just hold for one more week because Tom Stewart was an outs, and that's the guy I was actually going to replace Crisp with. So he was playing on the back of stoppages. He was in the middle of, most centre square bounces, I'd say. And he just looked to be on that open sort of side, waiting for the handball received, uncontested sort of game. 132, a very good score from him. He did get stuck on the bench in the first quarter for quite a while because the ball was on the opposite wing. But he looks like he holds his spot for another couple games in my team. I don't think I will trade him out. I'll just have to watch more Collingwood games to see his role now that Jamie Elliott's out of the side for another 12 weeks there with a AC joint. So probably helps his score, and it means probably De Goey has to go forward to replace that, meaning Chris will probably stay in the midfield, although he's a better half back. Anyway, that's a discussion for another day. Luke Ryan sputtered it up, and it's because Chapman and Young are taking all his points there. I just wanted to give him one more week in case he did pull out a big 150 score again, but he's on the chopping block this week for me. 33 trades, so I feel like I'm in a good position to do so. George Hewitt at 120 played really well against Gold Coast, especially when Cripps went down. He took Miller to the cleaners in a lot of stoppages. He also tagged Took, which is really annoying, but his 120 is fantastic for a guy I started with and didn't have to bring in. Bowie, the cash move that I planned from Whitfield was actually good, but not so great in two ways. Like, he's lost his cash gen now. His break-even's about 80-something, I believe, 82. But Whitfield is carrying an injury, and Whitfield's price is about 100k different, if that. So that was a good move, but the problem is I can't actually move him on this week, I don't think, unless I use a trade boost, which is something to think about. But 47, it was only really because he really wasn't in the Port's forward half enough for him to get ball, and he was actually playing around the middle of the ground instead of half back, which is strange. I think it's because the Weaver came back into that side. They just wanted more interceptors, I'm not sure. So just keep an eye on him. You don't have to trade him this week if you've got bigger problems, but if you don't, definitely get off now, I would. Hinge 37 was looking great, looking like he was going to beat McCartan's score. Had the 8 possessions for 37 points and did a hammy in the third quarter. So I'll probably just loophole his score, and if McCartan goes well against West Coast this week, I'll leave him there, and if he doesn't, I can field the Conning against the Hawks, which would be not a bad little loophole there, and it means I can run Hinge as my captain this week. If let's say McRae goes big, I'll do that. So it's not too bad having loopholes this time of year. This is why I don't start with them, because by round 4 you have at least 2 anyway. Jackson McRae, 158, looked really great against the Tigers there. Just won so many stoppage clearances, or just clearances around the ground, really. Just such a, not really a seagull as such, but just knows where the ball is. Unbelievable player. Can't believe I didn't captain him. I just had doubts about that wing, and turns out, like most of us, we should just captain him. Lockie knew I had the VC. I had no other choice because the loophole was Stevens there. So I was sort of left in a bit of a pickle because it was the early game, and I obviously wasn't going to do any Geelong play because I don't have anyone, and I don't have any Port or Melbourne players worth vice captaining. So forced into that move. And you take 128 every day of the week because, like Cripps, anything can happen in this game. So anything over 120 you bank. Took Miller was too handball friendly for my liking this game. I still think against better opposition he'll score a lot higher. Against worse opposition he'll score a lot higher. So he's not one to trade out, obviously. And Cripps was looking great that first quarter. He was so explosive. I never saw the vision of him doing his hammy, and even if it is a 2 or 3 week one, you just have to jump off. I'm just not going to ride that wave, and that's the reason why I didn't start him. Was because his injury history. I should have backed my gut and not just worried about the crowd, getting a guy that's cheap primo. So should have seen this coming. Really, we should all have. Rao 65, pretty bad game from him. He couldn't get near it, tackled a lot, but just didn't look great, to be honest. I'm sure he'll bounce back. Not one I'm going to trade out. Jared Berry, 96, fantastic. Another injury-prone player. Hurt his shoulder. Still somehow got to 96. Played a great game, and I'm glad I didn't trade him out for Tom Green, who actually scored 92 this week. So Berry outscored him by 4 points, which is quite funny. Anyway, Nick Dacos, 125. This guy's a champ. Probably looks like a keeper down in the back line if he gets DPP in round 6. And Stevens obviously was my captain, Oipole there, and Horn Francis, my emergency 93. If you didn't start this guy, I don't know what you're doing either. And these guys are just useless, so may as well have no rookies there, to be honest. I'm never going to field those two guys. And cash generation is probably going to be a real slow burn. Grundy, 118, great bounce back game from him. 3,000 coaches traded him out after a 96, which is pointless for me. And English, 96. Nank seems to be able to nullify Ruckman, so I'm not surprised he didn't score well. But I didn't think he would drop under a ton, to be honest. I thought he'd get more marks around the ground. So I hope they don't bring in Steph Martin after that loss, or else I'll be quite concerned because his average will probably go down and probably not one you want to jump on after that. Dixon, 96, looked really good around the ground for West Coast, holds his spot, and probably keeps Oscar Allen out, to be honest, at this stage when he does return. So great cash generation guy. You could probably jump on him if you don't have him at 160. Not a bad price still, with that 96 being in his next 3 games too. So Dunkley, 103, probably a little bit underrated, I thought. I thought he got sort of a lot more of the ball for a 103. Maybe he had a few clangers in there, but he's averaging 111 for the season, so pretty good pickup. If you didn't start him either, that was a big no-brainer. Zach Butters, oh man, this kills me. Port Adelaide are killing me. I'm not a Port fan, obviously, but just play him in the midfield, Kent, honestly. And he just looks, maybe he's a bit sore from that Sam Powell-Pepper move the other weekend when he crashed into him. So don't trade him out. I think he's a guy that will finish in our top 6. Maybe you just loophole him if you can, in case he does take a little bit to get back to full fitness or not so sore. Canelio, 64. The one game I didn't get to see was actually Freo and Giants because the Tigers game was playing. So if anyone can tell me what happened with Cogs here after one big score and one not so, I'd love to know how he only got 64 points. Obviously because Fremantle won. Not sure where he was playing. Hopefully Wayne Cameron didn't change his position. Will Brodie, 135. Didn't see this one coming. Obviously played really well against the Giants. And he could be a season keeper, averaging 104.9, so probably more likely than not. And Terry, he came off for like a whole quarter in the third, I'm pretty sure, with some sort of cut or stitching. Maybe he got concussion tested in that game. I can't quite remember. A bit of a blur, to be honest. Maybe I'm concussed, but I'm not. So here's one you could probably loophole to if you got really good forward depth. And Nick Martin, 84. He's one of those players. He's probably got one of the smartest footy IQ I've seen in a long time. He's always in position if Essendon do win the ball, he's always in the free space. So I really like this game. He has really hot patches, can kick a classy goal, and he's a guy we should definitely be fielding. Rochelle 106, probably didn't see this one coming. He had 2 poor games the week before, albeit that 50 points. He was down like 11 points for that free kick in that last quarter. But I didn't see him go on 106 this weekend. So I do apologise to anyone who did trade him out, because I'd said, yep, may as well get rid of him for Nick Martin. So small forwards, this feels like that Jimmy Rowe pick where you sort of got to jump off at the right time, and the right time apparently wasn't last week. But how we were supposed to know he was going to go from a 30 to a 106 is beyond me. And Hayes will probably get a game now that Paddy Ryder most likely will get suspended for a bump on Will Day. So, how we get out of this pickle? Well, we've got enough trades to go sideways. Luke Ryan has to go. I don't care about burning a trade for this guy, and Cripps has to go with that hammy. I'm not going to carry him in my side. The guys I'm probably going to bring in, I want DPP again. So Doherty is the guy I want. There's a concern that he's got some tape on his shin, so maybe a Carlton supporter can tell me why he's got tape on his shin. But he's just playing so well. Yeah, averaging 125. Carlton's still got an easy fixture coming up. Doesn't take kickouts. He took 1, I think, on this game and still scores 135. And he's just crazy. I can't not get him this year. And he used to be a fantasy pig before all the health issues. So looks like an absolute goat in that back line. Probably shouldn't use that word because he's not the greatest of all time. But you know what I'm saying. He's just unreal player. And Heaney in the forward line, I'm just going to have to bring him in. Clutch goal, got 30 points. Sort of very Bontempelli-like in the terms of he gets points for breathing, and I want a player that gets points for breathing because Heaney's the man for that role. How we look to line up this week, probably going with something like this. If the moves do change, I'll let you guys know maybe in the comments, because I had no idea that Tom Stewart was going to be laid out, or else he would have replaced Cripps, and Ryan would have been replaced by Doherty. Or something like that anyway. That is the side 31 trades. So let me know how many trades you guys have left. It'd be interesting to know. And what you guys scored. Did anyone score over 2-3? Because if you did, you played unreal this week. Maybe you just got a bit of luck, and you probably didn't have Cripps if you scored over 2-3, I'm assuming. Anyway, that looks like the end of the video. Hope you guys did well, and I'll catch you on the preview on Wednesday or Thursday morning. Have a good one.